So you just bought Battlefield 6. You're insanely hyped to play as you've seen everyone and their mother talk about how good of a game this is. You load it up, hop into your first few matches, and you look like this. Now, most people will look you dead in the face and say, skill issue. And while that might be true because you just haven't put the time in yet, there are a ton of settings and tips you could be using that will help your game immensely. Especially nowadays where it seems like the settings tab is endless, the UIs are confusing, and I almost believe modern games set you up for failure with how bad the default settings are. In this video, we will be going over my best sniping tips, tricks, and settings that will help you become a better sniper so you can look like this. We're going to start off with a bunch of sniping tips and class setups, and then gradually move into my settings so you can have everything you need in this one video. So make sure to save this video and share it to a friend so you can come back whenever you need it. Battlefield is a unique first-person shooter that has some of the most satisfying sniping mechanics in the entire genre. You have to take into account things like bullet drop and travel time as the game focuses heavily on realism. It's headshots only with a sniper, unless you hit him in the sweet spot, which we'll talk about later. Because of this, you can't really play insanely aggressive with a sniper in this game. You have to be patient and focus on positioning. But don't worry, because once you get the hang of it, you can be the most deadly sniper in your lobby and have your enemies terrified to run out in the open and play the objective. It's a different type of aggressive sniping, and it's so much fun. First things first, you have 4 classes in Battlefield 6: Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon. And for the first time ever, you're able to use any weapon you want on these classes. At first, you think, hell yeah, I get to be a sniper medic or an engineer with a sniper. Not quite. Each class has its own unique specialties, and while you can equip a sniper on Assault, Engineer, and Support, your bullet will not go straight. Think of it as Bloom with a sniper, which is awful. The #1 class you should be using if you want to snipe is Recon. Your bullet will go straight, your crosshairs are centered, everything you need to be the best sniper in your squad is on this class. The sweet spot mechanic has returned in Battlefield 6, which means you're able to get a one shot to the upper body, depending on which sniper you're using and how far away from the target you are. There really isn't a set range for the sweet spot because each sniper has its own bullet velocity, but for the most part, if you find yourself roughly 75 to 110 meters away from the target, you'll hit the sweet spot. Now, personally, I do not rely on this mechanic at all. 99% of the time, I'm aiming for the head. The only time I find myself aiming for the body is when I've already hit marked them so I know they're weak, or if I naturally miss the head and get a one shot to the body. I'm usually taken off guard and I'm like, oh, I'm in the sweet spot range, I can aim for the body now. Another tip I use when sniping on Battlefield is constantly looking for cover. You do not want to be called out in the open with a sniper in this game. It is a recipe for disaster. Always move from cover to cover as it will allow you to focus on hitting the head and adjust for bullet velocity while being hard to hit. You combine that with counter strafing between your shots and never peeking the same angle twice, you are golden. You want to confuse these enemies as much as possible. Be the most mobile sniper out there in the match. As Gaz said in good old Call of Duty 4,
remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading.
This could not be more true on a game like Battlefield. Since you're going to be getting a lot of body shot hit markers and the time to kill being as fast as it is, you're going to want to finish the enemy off as quick and effective as possible. And in Battlefield 6, the swap speed is very fast when going from a sniper to a pistol. I can't tell you how satisfying it is to hit marker someone with a sniper only to whip out your pistol and shoot them once with a magnum. It's fast, effective, and you just feel like a badass. Since you're going to be doing a lot of long-range sniping in this game, a secret tip that has helped me is lowering my FOV. It sounds weird, but it helps you spot enemies a lot easier. Check this clip out.
I'm lowering my FOV because it's not rendering. I just barely see a flashlight.
Where's FOV at? Graphics?
Literally 85. This shit looks awful. Oh, I can see him so much clearer now. Wait a minute. Oh, I got some.
Oh! I got him! I don't recommend doing this trick unless you're trying to hit a crazy long-range snipe, but equip that 10 times scope and watch how easier it is to pop them. One of the biggest things to keep in mind in this game is you have to rank up your weapon for it to be the most powerful version it can be, especially with snipers. In most cases, when you see someone popping off in your game or online, they have their gun maxed out all the way, which is way different than using it at level 1. Here are the best class setups for each sniper in Battlefield 6. We got 3 base snipers at the time when I'm recording this video. The first sniper up, we got the M2010 ESR, and this thing is the best sniper in the game at the moment. As you can see, it's got 100 damage, 43 rate of fire, and I have an 8-round magazine. We're going to get into the class setup, but as you guys can tell, it has a 1,125 bullet velocity speed. By far the fastest out of all the snipers in this game. It is crazy. The attachment system in this game works like a point system. As you can see, it's 100 points, and for the ESR, it's a perfect 100 out of 100. I'm rocking the muzzle brake right now, the double port brake. This is really nice for spotting enemies. As you guys can tell in my gameplay, whenever I'm aiming in at people, you'll see that red dot or that diamond above the enemy's head. When they start firing, it helps spotting people 10 times easier. That also helps with the Recon class as well, but the muzzle brake definitely helps out for visibility. I'm also rocking the extended barrel, the 26 carbon barrel. This helps out with bullet velocity. As you guys are going to tell, I'm using this on every sniper, combined with the long range high velocity rounds on the sniper as well. I use this on every single sniper you're going to see on all my class setups. The ESR comes with 5 bullets at default, but you got to rock that 8-round magazine. It doesn't even affect the ADS that much because the ADS speed on the snipers in this game are insanely fast. So sacrificing a little bit of ADS speed for an 8-round magazine is completely worth it. Those 3 to 4 extra bullets help out so much, and you're going to get so many more kills that way. And probably the most important attachment on this sniper build right here is the ADS bolt. Another attachment that you're going to see I'm using on all snipers. This thing allows for rechambering while ADS'd, and it allows for faster rechambering as well. This thing is an absolute must. You always want your sniper to be the best it can possibly be, and that includes the fire rate. You got to have a fast fire rate on your snipers. This thing is beautiful. And the last attachment, which is arguably the most important attachment as well, is the 6x scope on the sniper. This bad boy right here, as you can tell, a lot of you guys have been asking, how do I get that reticle? My reticle looks like dog shit. Well, I'll tell you, it's the 6x. This reticle is, in my opinion, the best sniper reticle you could ever have on any sniper in any FPS. A simple cross. This thing is going to help you hit your headshots perfectly. These little ticks with the dot and the line allow you to perfectly line up your shot from far away, so you always know how high you need to aim. Moving on to the SV98, which is the second sniper you unlock in this game. All you got to do is get it to level 26 to unlock this sniper, and this is a classic. If you guys have been around in the Battlefield franchise for a while, you know this thing has been a beast in pretty much every Battlefield it's ever been in. This was actually the first sniper rifle I ever used in the Battlefield franchise back in Battlefield 3, and the thing that makes this gun stand out is the magazine size. As you can see, it has a 10-round magazine at default. You're going to have 100 damage, 38 rate of fire, which is a little bit slower than the ESR, and you're going to have a 900 bullet velocity, which again is a little bit slower than the ESR as well. But my final build with this thing looks pretty similar to the other snipers, but this thing goes up to 80 out of 100 points, so you have a little wiggle room to put a silencer on this as well if you want, because that fills it perfectly out to 100 out of 100. But right here, we got the compensated brake attachment. This thing is perfect. Again, allows you to spot those enemies a lot quicker, and the compensated brake helps minimize recoil buildup, so it allows you to get that second and third shot a lot easier without your scope wobbling all over the screen. The extended barrel, which is an absolute must. It helps out with bullet velocity a ton. You're especially going to need it on the SV98 since it doesn't come with a lot of bullet velocity as is, but then you combine that with the long range rounds again, and it's beautiful. You don't have to lead your shot a ton, a little bit more than the ESR, but this thing packs a punch. It is so nice to use, very satisfying. And then again, you can't even change the magazine on this gun. It just comes with default 10 round. That's all you need, combined with the good old ADS bolt. Again, rechambering while aiming down sights and a faster fire rate. The ADS bolt is an absolute must on every sniper you're going to use in this game. I've experienced with some of the different scopes, don't get me wrong, but this 6x is just absolutely perfect. You're not going to go wrong with this thing. And finally, moving on to the PSR, this thing is a beast. It is the final sniper you unlock in Battlefield 6 at the moment. You got to do some crazy challenges. Just go look at my PSR video if you want to see the challenges you got to do. But this thing also has the same rate of fire as the SV98. As you can tell, it's got 38 with the 100 damage, and it also has a fat girthy magazine. It's got 10 bullets in a mag, unbeatable. But it also has a 937 bullet velocity speed, so it's a little bit higher than the SV98. If we head into the class setup right here, this thing you can get a little bit tricky with. You can use a bunch of different setups with this thing, but at the moment, I'm rocking suppressor with this. You can also put on, again, the compensated brake if you want. I'm rocking silencer right now because I have enough points to do so, but you combine that with the extended barrel. You need this combined with the long range, high velocity rounds to help your bullet velocity as much as possible, so you don't have to be aiming super far ahead and you don't have to lead your shots as much with these attachments. But one of the attachments on this gun that separates it from the others is you're going to want to use the full angled under barrel. This gives you a little bit better ADS speed because I've noticed when you don't have this on and you just have the default setup like this, like the other snipers, the ADS speed is actually a little bit slower when you're using this. So I had enough points left over. You're going to want to go to the underbarrel, pop on that full angled. It gives you that little bit of extra ADS speed, which is perfect. But with the PSR, you also can use the 7-round magazine, which improves the handling, but nothing is going to beat that high magazine, no matter if it gives you additional ADS speed. 10-round magazine at default, unbeatable. Going to want to combine that with the ADS bolt, the most important attachment on your snipers. Get your fire rate up. You need this attachment on all snipers. It's a no-brainer. And also, being able to stay scoped in and cock your gun back and not have to fully scope out for your gun to start cocking back helps out in so many situations. And last but not least, you got the good old 6x scope on the PSR. It's absolutely beautiful. The best reticle, the best sniper scope in this entire game by far. It's no question. The Recon class in Battlefield 6 is going to be your #1 place to snipe on this game by far. It gives you all the perks, all the benefits to being an actual sniper in this game, and we're going to go through why. First things first, if you go into the training path, you can either choose between sniper or spec ops. If you want to be that sit in the back of the map and just Chris Kyle it and get those long range snipes and kind of gather information for your team, you might want to go with the spec ops category. This is the stealth awareness low profile class for the snipers in Battlefield 6. You got the low profile. Going prone clears your in combat state 1.5 seconds faster and reduces your spotted status duration by 33%. Gadget awareness, you're able to spot all the enemy gadgets, marking their position if you want to gather that information to help your team progress through the map without dying to a bunch of those C4s, motion sensors, all those gadgets. And then it also helps out finally with the stealth. It's going to reduce the amount of sound you make when you're crouched, prone. This allows you to be that silent sniper and not have anybody spot you. Right off the bat, the sniper category, this is what you want mainly for snipers in Battlefield 6. It's the long range engagements, but most importantly, it spots enemies more efficiently and targets threats with lethal headshots. This is the best path you can choose for Recon, hands down. Enemy soldiers you kill with headshots from a sniper cannot be revived by their teammates, which helps out a lot in game modes like Breakthrough when they're trying to push through to the next objective. They can't get rezzed, which means they're going right back to the spawn, which helps out a ton in objective game modes. Up next, you got target acquired. This one is so beast because once you inflict damage on the enemies, it spots them permanently. Once you get that sight on them and once you hit them, they are not leaving your sight at all. Not only does it mark them in your scope and on your screen, but it also marks them on the radar for you and your teammates. Then you also have the enhanced perception, and this is beautiful because it improves auto spotting range with 33% increased distance and 10% wider angle of detection from the weapon crosshair. So again, that combined with the muzzle brake and the Recon class, you do not want to use anything else other than this. It is so good. And then once you level it up all the way, you got the UAV Overwatch. You can just call in a UAV for your team. This next tip is absolutely paramount to sniping in Battlefield games, especially in Battlefield 6. It's the classic hit somebody, swap to your pistol, finish them off with them. As you can tell, we got 4 snipers in the game right now, and I'm going to be flat out honest with you. Both these first are absolutely useless. I feel like I'm healing enemies when I use these pistols. Out of these 3 right here, the best pistol you're going to want to use is the M45 for sure, but once you level up to level 48, this bad boy right here, the Magnum, is one of the most satisfying sidearms I've ever used in any FPS game. And when we want to talk about Battlefield 6, there is no better sidearm to use as of now than the M44. This thing is beautiful. You actually feel like you have a chance against enemies, especially if they're rushing you. This thing is a 2-hit kill to the body and a 1-hit kill to the head if you're super close when you don't have any attachments. But once you use this thing a lot and you level it up and you get this attachment right here, the hollow point ammo rounds, oh my lord, this thing allows you to get those headshots from that 20-30 meter range. It is the most satisfying thing to do in Battlefield 6. I got a cute little one-time sight on it right now, but as you guys have seen in my gameplay, hip firing is the move when it comes to sidearms. The hip fire is very nice. You're going to be pretty accurate with it, almost more accurate than if you were aiming in. You combine that with the extended barrel to make sure you get the bullet velocity velocity and you're able to kill people from farther away, this thing is the best sidearm on Battlefield 6, and it makes your experience so much more fun when you're sniping. And even if you're not sniping, this is the pistol to use regardless. You also get 2 gadgets in this game. You either get the laser designator, the recon drone, tracer dart, claymore, sniper decoy, or the C4 explosives. You can't always just be a recon, help out your team by sniping people. You got to get down and dirty sometimes, and with the C4, all it takes is 3 C4s on an enemy tank to completely blow that thing up. And a lot of times, tanks aren't expecting the recon to run up and blow their shit up. Most of the time, it's the infantry with an RPG or something like that, so having the C4 explosives on this class is so beneficial. I go tank hunting all the time in Battlefield 6. Not only does it help out your team a lot being able to use C4, blow up buildings, create pathways for yourself to maneuver through the map. Although if you want to be a little bit trolly, I will say I have gotten bamboozled by the sniper decoy sometimes. The recon drone is also very beneficial as well to mark enemies on the minimap for your team, especially in Breakthrough and maps like Muroc Valley. You can spot so many enemies, and it helps get your XP up too. Laser designator is just to help spot enemies when they're super far away. It gives you a distance and provides faster and longer range lock-ons. For my second gadget, I'm rocking the claymore. They're very hard to spot in this game. The amount of times I put this claymore right near a zip line or up in a stairwell, those enemies are trying to flank us and bone us from behind, the claymore is your best friend. The 3 throwables you can use in this game right now are the frag grenade, proximity detector, and the throwing knife. Unfortunately, as of now, these things are not good. Not only does it have such a weird throw animation, but they also do not do like any damage at all. So unfortunately, I'm rocking the frag grenades. Hopefully they buff the throwing knives in the future because it's such a fun addition to your playstyle, especially in Battlefield 5. Using those throwing knives was so satisfying. So we're going to go through all of our settings in Battlefield 6. There are a lot of hidden settings in here that you may have missed when scrolling through. So we're going to help you guys out and make sure you get everything to become the best sniper or player you can be. Especially since the settings can be very overwhelming in this game. I'm not going to lie. It's probably one of the most confusing UIs I've ever seen in a video game. So first things first, we're going to be scrolling through the accessibility tab. And for the most part, these are all pretty self-explanatory, except once you go down to the graphics quality settings, you're going to hit color profiles because this is pretty important. This helps you see enemies so much better. Go to the enemy color, and as you see, I have my red, super red. This basically makes it so the enemies are a lot easier to see. The red dots above enemies' heads are brighter. This is going to allow you to spot enemies much quicker, which is going to help out in the long run. And it also looks cleaner on the UI, having that bright red. But then for the most part, that's pretty much it. I turned my primary color all the way to white. It's like this ice white. It looks pretty sick on the UI as well, but for the most part, everything else is all default. Further down, if you hit camera effects, this is a super important tab because this allows your game to just look nice without it bobbling all over the screen. You need motion blur off, weapon and world. We can't have motion blur in 2025, chat. Come on, let's get it together. Infantry HUD motion, you're going to want to turn that off. That allows for all the UI stuff on the screen to not be bouncing around when you're running around the map. Camera shake amount, pretty similar. You're going to want to turn that down to 50. You want reduce sprint camera bobbing on because obviously you enable this to reduce the amount of camera movement when sprinting in first person. The idea for this is for your screen to be stable and not bouncing all over the place no matter what you do as you're running throughout the game. Chromatic aberration off and infantry crosshair projection also off. Other than that, in the accessibility tab, that's pretty much it. I'll keep going down here as well. I got vibration on. Again, controllers. You're not going to find much controller settings in this video because I do not play controller on Battlefield 6. I think if there's one game to play mouse and keyboard on, at least to try it out, it's definitely Battlefield. But everything else is pretty much default. You're going to want the tutorials off on the screen. Unless you're a new player, you want these on to kind of help you get into the swing of things so you understand what's going on the screen, and then everything else is off. Moving on into the gameplay section, most of this is all default as well. Again, this right here is for controller, so I don't use this. It says 40 and 10, but this is all just default. A lot of these settings help the movement feel pretty smooth when you're running around some secret gameplay settings, but for the most part, all of this is on default. Vehicle sensitivity as well, that's pretty default. And then when it comes to aim assist, again, I'm not using controller on Battlefield 6, so none of this really matters. So since there's no controller settings, let's move on to my mouse and keyboard settings because a lot of people have been asking me what my DPI is, what my mouse sensitivity is, and here it is. I play on 800 DPI with my mouse with 10 infantry mouse aim sensitivity. A lot of people have been saying this is pretty slow whenever they tried it out, but again, this is Battlefield we're talking about. I need to be able to hit headshots, and with a high sensitivity, I'm going to be shaking all over the enemy's head, so I need my sensitivity to be pretty slow. Not crazy slow, but definitely slow enough so I can focus on hitting the headshots with my sniper. Moving into my controller settings as well, you guys have been asking what my zoom sensitivity coefficient is. I left all of this on default. These settings kind of scare me, and when I started playing Battlefield for the first time, I kept this on default, and it felt pretty good to me, so I'm not changing any of that. I have seen on socials that turning off off, uniform infantry aiming may help a lot as well. So if you copy all these settings and something still feels weird, maybe try turning off this setting. It might help you. I'm playing on 110 FOV. I think it looks great for Battlefield 6. And then everything else, I'm going to scroll through here on the movement section. Pretty default. Infantry weapon zoom, steady scope, all of this is default. I also did not change any of my zoom aim sensitivity. That's another question. As you guys can see, all of this is default. I'm pretty scared of all of that. It feels good to me once I have that 10 sensitivity with the 800 DPI. I think that feels great. Moving on to the keybinds, as you can tell, this is all pretty default as well. The only thing I changed in this category is being able to swap to my weapon on my mouse, which as you can see, secondary weapon and cycle primary, mouse 4 and mouse 5. I just want to be able to swap weapons on my mouse without having to use my fingers for my keyboard. I think that helps out a lot. Especially with a sniper, you're going to be getting a lot of body shot hit markers, so it's important for you to swap to your pistol as fast as possible. And for me, having that button on the mouse 4 allows me to swap as fast as possible so I can get that secondary shot off to finish off the enemy. And then as you can see, all of this is pretty default as well. When it comes to the vehicles, listen, I'm working on becoming a better pilot. Pull up! Maybe in the future, I'll start becoming a god with this, but all these vehicle settings I kept on default. I didn't change it at all. And then when you keep scrolling down, this is another super secret setting for all my mouse and keyboard players that feel like this game feels a little bit weird on mouse. Your mouse raw input has to be on. This allows your input to feel as smooth and responsive as possible. When you turn this off, you may feel it feels a little bit delayed or a little bit clunky. Mouse raw input on is a super important setting. Have to have that. Moving on to the graphics settings, a lot of you guys have been saying my game looks really nice, which I appreciate that. We worked pretty hard on these settings, but as you see, when you go into the graphics quality settings, here we go, pretty much all on custom. There's a lot of things in here that I have on low, but some of the important ones like volumetric quality I have on ultra, as well as sun shadow quality I have on ultra. Lighting and local light and shadow quality are on high. Usually for FPS games, I like to keep everything on low, but this game is so beautiful, and since I have a dual PC setup, I can actually run these settings without my PC feeling like it's going to explode. Maybe for some of you guys, these settings might be too high and you guys are going to see your FPS drops below, but for me, I'm still sitting at above 250, 300 FPS. Sometimes when it gets crazy on like Siege of Cairo, when there's a bunch of buildings exploding, I'll drop below 200 frames. But again, this game is so beautiful that I'm willing to take those hits for FPS. It doesn't affect my gameplay as much as other games. Shadow filtering on PCSS, and then for the most part, all of these are on high and ultra as well. I got my brightness on 46, UI and sharpness both on 50. When we go into the advanced section right here, fixed resolution scale is on 100. I play on enabled plus boost when it comes to NVIDIA Reflex low latency, and I have DLSS on. A lot of people say that having DLSS on increases your input delay. I don't feel that much of a difference. I don't think that's a thing for Battlefield 6. Other games, you might actually feel a difference when it comes to your input delay. For me, it feels super fine right now. Upscaling quality is on quality. Frame gen, that just pretty much generates fake frames, so I have that off. And performance overlay, I have that on simple. If I turn my face cam off here, you can see I have CPU and GPU, but the number one thing to look at on this is your CPU frames. That is the actual frame rate you're getting in-game. Moving on to the camera settings, we went over this before, but 110 FOV, 00, reduced sprint camera, bobbing, gotta have that on. I'm playing full screen, 1440p, 360 hertz monitor. This is the best monitor I've ever owned, by the way, OLED. Oh my god, this game looks so beautiful on it. Again, another important setting, your infantry HUD motion. You don't want your HUD bouncing all over the screen. You want it stationary, because when it's bouncing all over the screen, it just is distracting and it can mess you up in some gunfights. Keep the overlays on, but if we head into the advanced HUD settings, a lot of you guys ask how I'm only getting my kill feed in the top right to show my kills and my squad. That is this setting right here, the kill feed, show kills made by squad. You can change this to squad and nearby. Nearby does help out a lot, but I just keep it to squad only. Gotta have the kill feed icons on as well. Minimap size, you're gonna want this on large. When it's down to small and medium, it's pretty hard to see your radar, and having large is always the move in Battlefield games. You can really get some information on that radar. 90, 15, 40 when it comes to the opacity, view rotation on, and then if we keep scrolling down here, pretty much all of this is on default as well. I didn't change much of this right here. That's it for the HUD, and if we keep scrolling down, we got another important setting right here, which is crosshairs and indicators. A lot of you guys have been asking me how to change your headshot color. You love that light blue, that teal headshot color that I get whenever I get a kill, and it's kind of confusing in this because you'd normally think you would change change the headshot color setting right here, but for some reason, when it comes to sniping specifically, the headshot color is actually the kill color. So as you can see, I have mine to teal. It just looks nice. I may change this in the future if I get bored and I want to see a different color, but that light teal blue, whenever you get a headshot, that's my favorite color, and getting that satisfaction popping up on the screen with it is so nice. You can also change your crosshair color as well. Some people have been telling me to change mine, but I've noticed whenever I change my crosshair color specifically, it kind of blends into the background of the map depending on what map I'm playing, so I just keep it safe, keep it at white. Infantry crosshair projection, you're going to want that off as well. I have my hit color on that ice white as well, because when I get a hit marker, I'm used to that white hit marker look, so I just keep it on white. And then everything else in this category is pretty default. Heading into the audio section, for the most part, when it comes to your volume, that's going to be different for everybody, but I will say one of the most important things that I've been telling everybody to use is the War Tapes VAL audio mix. This audio is unbelievable. You've heard me say in a few of my videos, this is probably the best audio I've ever heard in any FPS or any video game I've ever played. It is so immersive. It sounds amazing. You can hear the difference in the sniper shots with the War Tape sound effect and without it. I'll play it on the screen right now. It just sounds badass. I recommend everybody playing Battlefield 6 to put the War Tapes VAL setting on. It is just money. Have my sound system on headphones, but if we keep scrolling down here, pretty much all of this is default as well, even down to the accessibility, subtitles, and music radios. And for the most part, that's going to do it for my settings and tips on Battlefield 6, man. Let me know down in the comments below if I missed anything or if you have a secret setting that worked for you. Make sure to leave a like if you found anything useful from this video. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 500,000 subs. And I'll see you on the battlefield.
How in the fuck are you about to say? The way that we do it, it's not the way. No, don't you sweat it, you